Hello, my name is Adri. I'm here with Isha, a designer of the PowerCube. Could you tell me more about yourself?
Yes, about 10 years ago, I graduated as an industrial design engineer from Delft University of Technology. During my graduation, I designed the PowerCube, and right after it, I launched onto the market. During my studies, I always wanted to make and create a product that I could actually physically launch onto the shelves into the retail stores. And that was always my dream. And with the PowerCube, luckily I could do it, I could achieve it. And what I did there back then was I flew back to China. Instead of finding manufacturers, factories that could produce it, I actually started my own factory, which is a whole different approach. What I did is I helped engineering the tooling, the molding. I bought injection machines. I bought metal forming machines, and I set up the whole assembly line when I was back in China. And just to experience the whole process from an ideation and the whole creation and the whole production of actually a whole product. Once the production was in full swing, I flew back to Europe and to United States and all different countries around the world. I went to visit trade fairs, exhibitions, and I just showed the product to the clients and showed to the retailers and distributors. Yeah, that's my background, what I've been doing in the last 10 years.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So your PowerCube has been and is still a success for over 10 years now. Tell me, what is your secret?
Yes, it's certainly not easy to keep it such a success for such a long time. Of course, I've been through a lot of trouble, like every starting boy does. But I think the biggest struggle was with the copycats. As you may know, that the 9 out of 10 startups will fail. It's because it's really hard to find a great idea to make it a good product. And I think it's even harder once your idea is successful to keep out the competition and maintain it a success. If you're dealing with copycats, it's not only your competitors that you're dealing with, it's including your clients. It's even your suppliers that you're dealing with. Let me give you an example for your clients. The clients will order the same product as your original product and at the same time simultaneously sell a copycat. So your dilemma is, will you sue your client then, right? Once you sue them and when you send out the lawyer letter, they will just stop with you and just sue me. That's often a big dilemma during your startup in the beginning. Another thing is with the suppliers. I can 100% guarantee you that your suppliers will copy you. If you are a startup and you find a manufacturer in China or a factory that produces your product, there's a big chance that they will just sell directly behind your back. I mentioned earlier, I started my own factory, and then the thing is, it's not, even that doesn't avoid it. So let me give you an example. If you order like 1 million pieces, like a plastic component or something internal, a screw or something, the supply chain will notify their friends because they are in the same industry, they are neighbors. They say, hey, there's a new big potential here, it's a new product. Let's get our resources together and let's enjoy and ride along with this success. So you will get attacked from both sides.
Okay, but aren't there non-disclosure agreements with your clients? And do you have patents?
Yes, I have all of that. The thing is with NDA, it's very hard to pinpoint who leaked out this information, even if your supplier signed the NDA. I mean, it could be anyone. It could be the people on the assembly line, the managers in the factory, or even the truck driver who delivers you the product. So once the information leaked out, it's really hard to know whether who did it, who sold the information or get out the information. And then even if you know that guy, what you're gonna do? You're gonna sue the truck driver? I think the bottom line, what I want to say is there's no such things as NDA, there's no such thing as privacy, and nobody cares actually. Yeah, you mentioned about patents. We of course do have a lot of patents. We filed a lot of patents, but you will never have enough money, especially when you're a startup. I'm not even an established company, but You don't have enough money to file all those patents in every and each country in the world. It just costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars. But let's say you have a rich dad and you could pay for those patents. Would you have enough money to sue every single person or company in the world that copies your product? It's just not feasible. It's a very complicated world. If you have a big company that copies you, like a well-known brand that copies you, which happened a lot. I don't want to name names, but there's a lot of big companies that international companies that copied it, and they have a team of engineers, lawyers, patent lawyers that will just circumvent your patent to make it even harder for you. So it's a really difficult situations that you get put in as a designer with a successful product.
Then what can you do?
Well, basically what I did is two things. The first thing that I did is making manufacturing or mass manufacturing more efficient and therefore lowering the cost. So I mentioned before I started my own manufacturing and production line, which is not the ideal situation. So I started then looking for manufacturers that could do it even more efficient at a cheaper price. Basically what I'm telling you here is I let the copycat work for me. So let the copycat manufacturers produce for us. And the funny thing is, you could always, actually if you look hard enough or far enough, and you can actually always find a manufacturer that could do it more efficient. They could do it at a lower cost. And as you know, the business model of copycats is having a cheaper version of the original one. And once you take that away from them, then the competition becomes far less. It's less interesting for the copycats to enter the market.
But don't you worry about the quality then, if you keep lowering the costs?
Here I have to be honest with you. Chinese quality will always be Chinese quality. It doesn't matter which manufacturer you choose in China. And what I'm trying to say here is the quality is not correlated to the price that you pay. And that's a very big misunderstanding that a lot of people have. If I may recall, is a few years ago with Samsung with exploding phones that couldn't even go onto planes. PlayStation recall a few years ago. But currently the Tesla Gigafactory in China, which has a huge chaotic publicity of their quality issues there. It's not that when you pay a higher price, it doesn't mean directly that you get a better quality. That's the takeaway here. But if I go back, the second thing that I did to keep out the competition is to continuously developing new products. So expand your product portfolio, what I did. Because once you finally have established a good connection with your buyers, with the retailers, you are on their shelves. It takes a lot of work to have you as a supplier. You don't want to be a single product company. Buyers hate single product company because what you need to do as a company, you need to continuously come up with products that they can grow their revenue with. To take a better example, so if somebody copies this product, right, and they will come up with they will add another USB charger, a laptop charger, and a USB cable, and an HDMI cable, and all the other accessories around it. Who do you think the buyer will prefer? They would like to prefer that supplier or that maker, that brand, to keep growing their revenue. So that's why the second thing what I did is to continuously develop new products around it and into new categories, to continually making it interesting for the buyers to come back to us. The bottom line is here, so it's very important that you keep expanding your portfolio as a defense mechanism against competitors and against copycats, therefore.
You mentioned you went to exhibitions. What ways did you use to sell the products? And did you spend money on advertising and marketing? Were there any challenges you had?
No, we didn't spend a lot on marketing or advertising. All we did is we flew to exhibitions and around the world in different countries. And all we do was basically approach distributors. And we didn't approach directly those chain retail stores because those retail stores are hard to approach, and they often like to work with a distributor who already has an established portfolio which they work with. Just like I told you earlier, it's they would like to work with a party. It's not a single product company. But the issue is working with distributors is that you need to reserve a part of your profit margin for them. And that's mostly around 25, 30, sometimes 35% of your profit margin. And a lot of designers don't anticipate that. Another issue is with the distributors is they always demand exclusivity from you. Let me give you an answer on that. Never ever do that. Don't sign an exclusivity contract. No matter what they promise you, just don't do it. No exclusivity is one of our basic rules. Because once you have a good product, once you've designed a good product, it will eventually sell to the end consumer. Those are your clients, not the distributors, not the retailers. If you do sign such a contract, it only will limit your sales channels. It will give you a lot of headaches on legal troubles. Believe me, we've been through all that. It's not worth it. Just believe in your product that eventually your client will be the end user. But what you do have to maintain is a consistent price structure and a pricing structure that reserves enough profit margins for each stakeholder, each party, the distributor, the retailer, and maintain a consistent retail price, the advised retail price what you see in the stores. If you can maintain that, there will be no price war and all your clients will be happy. That's it. That's what you need to focus on. Maintain a consistent and fair price structure that reserves enough margin for each party. That's what you need to do.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience and expertise. Do you have a final advice for all the designers?
I think the last thing that I want to give away is don't be afraid to share your designs, because an idea on itself is worth nothing without execution. I actually went to the first fair with just a drawing, a computer drawing, a rendering of this product, and started just showing buyers and clients, and just to see if there's an interest. No patent, no nothing at all actually. So just to show if there's an interest in my product. And when I noticed and they were interested, then I started to take fast steps to make it a reality. During the years, I've seen a lot of designers, they have a lot of great ideas, concepts. They are just afraid to share it and hide it for years under their bed and never shown it to light. And probably they don't even know what to do with it. With DesignNest is giving the designers a great opportunity to share their designs with the world, and at least give these ideas and concepts a chance for success.